From the Mac of All Trades studio in Fairport and driven by Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, it's Billified, the Bill Moran Podcast.
Well, hello and welcome. Thanks for getting your pot on. Thanks for telling a friend. That's how we spread the word about the pirate ship. Like us and follow us and subscribe at YouTube at Billified, at Billified_pod on Instagram, Bill Moran Radio. Dougie Fresh in the house.
In the house, baby. Glad to be here.
That's
Beautiful
right.
day.
Somebody brought you up to me yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Who was she?
It was a woman, and but I don't want to say because your dad listens. Ha! No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. No, somebody did bring me up, but in terms of doing some comedy.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's nice.
Look at that.
Yeah, I've been working on new stuff.
Have you?
Yeah.
All right. And Jim White from White Trash. I just saw the whitetrashrubbish.com dumpster.
Oh, beautiful.
Because they're redoing roofs where I live.
Yep.
And I saw the dumpster out there. So they're out in full force.
Yep.
Yeah.
The season's coming a little early this year for roofing.
Yeah, might as well go while you got it, right?
Exactly.
You know.
Although I heard today on the news they're thinking the last 2 weeks of March are going to go back to winter. I just heard that today. It's get really chilly and
Who are
stuff.
these pricks?
You never know with Mother Nature.
Gotta ruin
Who are
everything.
these pricks?
Right.
They're ruining everything. Ruining everything. Is there anything you're afraid of, Dougie? Anything you're afraid to do?
Spiders.
To do? You're afraid of
I
spiders.
hate spiders.
No, but flying, not a big deal?
I'm afraid of heights.
You're afraid of heights.
Yeah.
Jimmy, anything?
I hate snakes.
You hate snakes. Because I think a lot of people are afraid. I think the thing is have a fear of flying. They'll do it, but they have a fear of it. And sometimes it makes me laugh because you're playing the odds, right? The safest way to travel is to fly. That's your safest way to travel.
Right.
But but then you get, it's like kids, right? Every shitty car you ever drove, you get into, you didn't even care. As long as it rolled and started up, you didn't care. You would put yourself in it. And now we have a whole big issue going on with Boeing right now.
Boeing.
Yeah. This is a wonderful
What
thing.
happened now?
Well, we hear the things like the 4 bolts designed to prevent that door plug. And a door plug looks like a door, but it's actually there for service. It has a hinge on the bottom. So that's the thing that flew out on the Alaskan airline flight. And that would freak you out. There was a kid sitting one row in front, and his shirt got sucked off, like completely ripped off his body. They weren't up at the altitude that they would be cruising at. They were still kind of ascending, so they were able to turn around and go back to the airport, and no one was hurt, and nothing happened.
That would freak me out if my shirt came off.
A lot of other people, too.
Exactly. Thank you, Jim. Glad somebody's biting on these. Bill's useless. His lip. Your lip looks good, by the way.
But I go, I'm watching this, and then the door plug, it sounds bad. When you think, like when I think of a door plug, I'm thinking that it's just something that's going to plug a hole, not the big side of the big side of the door. Well, now there's a whole investigation that's going on. So Boeing has failed 33 of 89 FAA audit failures.
All of a sudden?
Since the Alaskan airline, since that plug went.
And they're like, oh, we
now
better get somebody over there to
out
check
of
on things?
89. So, and then I think this is according to the New York Times. Then there's another subsidiary called Spirit Aerosystems, which makes the body of the 737 MAX jets. They failed 7 out of 13 product audits.
Wow.
Okay. So pretty much 50%. One of its noted failures had to do with the installation of the aircraft's door plug. Now, I don't know if you still want to fly or not, but an FAA auditor also discovered mechanics from the company using a hotel key card to check a jet's door to make sure it was sealed. Now, I'm thinking a lot of times I could kind of see this in a way. And if it's happening with Boeing, it's happening with every airline. I remember getting on a plane and looking out, and they were duct taping the wing. They were wrapping duct tape around the wing, and then they're giving the thumbs up.
Yeah.
And we flew to Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
There was nothing. But I go, it's like good enough mechanics. That, and then now the big story you're going to keep hearing is they use Dish Dawn soap to lubricate the door that they were trying to put in, one of those door plugs, to lubricate it, to slide it in there. Now, if you've done construction, I've used soap. Have you ever done this?
Just to get a ring off or something.
Yeah, but have you ever, like, when you're building stuff?
Yeah, like one of the old tricks is if you're getting a screw that's actually tough going, put some soap and screw it into the bar of soap first, and then it'll go into the wood a lot
and then it goes right into the wood a lot sooner. So soap's a great lubricant. So I'm going, to me, this isn't that big a deal. I would think that this kind of shit goes on all the time. We just don't know it. We don't want to hear about it. You don't want to know how the shit's made. I don't want to know how the sausage is made.
Right, you don't want to know how your hamburger is made.
No,
you don't want
I
to
just
see
want
the
to eat
cow
it.
getting killed.
That's all I want to do. And because I'm going, this is crazy. Well, now there's a guy. His name is John Barnett. He's a former Boeing quality control engineer. He worked at the company for about 30 years. He retired in 2017. 2 years after his retirement, in 2019, he told the BBC that Boeing had compromised safety by rushing to get its 787 Dreamliners off the production line. John Barnett had become a whistleblower on Boeing, continued to raise safety concerns at the airline's factories, and provided his first testimony, but then he failed to show up for the second part of his testimony for what was going to be a bombshell lawsuit against Boeing.
He didn't show up.
He didn't show up.
Is he still alive?
Well, they found him. They got concerned. His lawyer got concerned, so they called the hotel he was staying at, and they had him look for him. And it was reported that he died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound in his truck in the parking lot of the hotel.
No.
That's what they're saying. And this just happened like days ago.
Okay.
So you wonder, was he just so nervous about testifying, or is he just like, I can't go through with it? Or
I think somebody killed him.
Self-inflict? No.
I think somebody killed him because even here, John, somebody said his lawyer said he and his co-counsel had been calling Barnett's phone on Saturday, but the calls went to voicemail. When they asked the hotel to check him, they found him in his truck dead from a, quote, alleged self-inflicted gunshot wound. We drove to the hotel, blah, blah. His lawyer said he had explicit doubt about the circumstances of his death and called the self-inflicted gunshot wound alleged. What do you make of all this? I mean, it's big business. Boeing's huge business. Yeah. You've got...
People disappeared knowing the Clintons and the island thing.
Oh, yeah. The island thing, I know Whitewater people went missing. There was a guy who died on that. I remember somebody who was down in the Caribbean hanging out with one of the guys. His father worked with the Clintons on Whitewater, and all of a sudden he just died.
Just died.
Yeah, just mysteriously died. Yeah.
So if he testifies, Boeing's going to have a huge lawsuit against him, and oops, he kills himself, and now they got no whistleblower, no evidence.
Right. Yeah. I wonder this.
So we could pay somebody $100,000 to kill this guy, or lose $100 million.
Oh, you would go out of business,
right?
I think that Boeing is. I think Boeing's like on their last legs with all this shit. I think that they're near the end. And I mean, I wonder this, Jim. You own having owned businesses and run businesses. Now that drugs are legalized, I just wonder. Not all drugs, but I think Boeing's based in Seattle or the Washington area. And I think there's a lot of drugs that are legalized. And I wonder how many people, like the guy who forgot to put the 4 bolts in. How am I going to catch that? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, if I'm running the company, I'm up here. I'm trusting you down there, someone, I don't know, quality control somebody. And all of a sudden now
I'm sure there's a number of checks and balances. Or we hope so.
Yes.
Like in a car or plane or
But
train
I do wonder, like, if people are showing up a little...
Well, the other thing is
absolutely.
The general idea, like what is our modern workforce now, the young workforce coming up. There's a lot of hardworking young kids out there, but then you realize, like, geez, maybe it's a different generation where I'm like, good enough. This is good enough.
Good enough construction.
I'm going home. I don't want to work any overtime.
Yeah.
I'm off all weekend. Don't even ask me to do overtime. I think we're good here. See you Monday.
Yeah.
That's a concern, I think.
It is a concern, and I know that a lot of people are focusing on, they checked the seal with a hotel key card around. Well, yeah, you need something that's tight that's going to get in there to make sure that the rubber and we can't poke it through. Okay, what else are they supposed to use? What do you want them to use? Like, I go, I get it. It doesn't look like the most sophisticated tool, but that's not the part that scares me. What scares me is that somebody got killed who was about to blow the whistle on a company that you're putting a lot of money and your ass in to fly somewhere. Yeah, a little scary.
Well, who's their main competitor? I mean, we're really
for Boeing.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I don't know
if they do fold.
I don't know who's I think it would be huge because so many airlines are running them, right? I mean, it's the Alaskan airline, every plane. But that's what I'm saying is, like, I think every airline has these things. So why not Euromechanics? Hey, listen, we got a Boeing. Just get out there and double check that plug is all plugged up, right? I mean, that would be the only thing. Have you ever been threatened to keep quiet about anything, though, Dougie? You had to hear secrets and things when you were a strip club DJ. Anybody say Dougie? No?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, this doesn't leave the room between me and the four walls.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. But not threatened is what I'm saying. Like,
No,
this
not that I
whistleblower
remember,
was, I mean, killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, nothing to that.
No mafia
No.
came in or anything?
No.
Like in the movie? No, like your movie, like
I
the
met any mafia.
hey, I own a bunch of strip clubs. You gonna stay here? I need a monkey.
I met a lawyer that defended a lot of mafia people. I'm
Okay.
not gonna say his name, but he was a cool guy to me. So
Yeah. Well, they usually are.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But no, I've never been threatened.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Threatened like put your clothes back on, or I'm gonna kill you. But
Happens quite a bit.
yeah, never going to Wegmans again.
Boeing reaching new heights every day of federal scrutiny, one investigation at a time.
I don't know what they can do unless slow down. Obviously, making the planes.
I don't know.
And double check everybody.
I just saw it today, and it made me. I go, wow, look at this.
But that is
Well, it's a scary thing.
yeah.
You know, it's a
You have
scary
more
thing.
details. Was it on the side of the head, in the mouth?
Oh,
I mean, it's an autopsy.
I'm sure there'll be an autopsy. I don't know how
Sure.
you tell. I don't know how you tell.
This sounds like it'd be great 48 hours or 24
See,
Yeah,
or
definitely a
CGI
2 hour.
or not CGI. What's the
There's the what was it?
what's
What
the TV show? The
48
Forensics?
hour. Yeah, but there was another one. 48 Hours Investigates, and I think it was a murder. And they did it the 48 hours after a murder, and they filmed, I think, 2, maybe 3 episodes in Rochester.
Is that right?
Yes, because we were having so many murders. Like 48 hours after the murder, up to that point, what happens and what happens in the 48 hours after either a body's discovered or a murder is reported.
Yeah, that one was the one in Sodus where they moved to Texas, and I think the husband,
I remember
the
that one.
boyfriend, like drove back here to kill
That was
terrible.
wild. It
Yeah.
was a divorce.
Okay.
It was a divorce. He had custody of the kids. She married a guy who happened to be a sheriff of a small town in
Texas.
They drove a rental car and it broke down somewhere in Ohio. And I'm thinking to myself, this is what I can never wrap around my head. You had to be so in love with this woman because this was the plan that even you drove all that way and then the car breaks down and you don't go, there might be a sign. Might be a sign that this just isn't a good idea. Maybe I should stop.
We've been arguing all morning anyhow.
I mean, maybe this isn't right. Something. And then all of it, but he keeps going and he's the one who pulled the trigger. I think he went to jail. She may have, but for a lesser time, I thought.
Yeah, he's the one that pulled the trigger. And,
Yeah.
That was definitely one of the 48 hours I think you're referring to because they did that.
They did the investigates. And it was wild. Like that had to be one of the most disturbing things. And I think one of the kids was in the car when they shot her.
He saw it, I believe. There was
The
thought
kid,
that the
yeah.
kid saw it.
Yeah. Well, the kid was, I think, in his car seat, strapped in there, couldn't go anywhere. And these are the people that love you. They want you so badly. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
You know how you daydream when you're driving too, especially a long travel trip like that?
Yes.
You're never like, I'm out. I can't do this.
this is what I'm saying. Nowhere along the line did you go, this just makes no sense. And he had a buddy, I think, who came with him.
I think so.
So he convinced another guy. How good is, I was gonna say-
That's a good friendship.
No, I was going to say, how good is her pussy that
Right.
you can also say, dude, this is so good. You got to
She
help me
sucked me
keep
all
this.
the way to
You gotta
Texas
help me keep
nonstop.
it here.
It was
I was just
awesome.
like, that's insanity.
Right.
That is insanity.
And she, in the meantime, was in Texas, right? Just imagine what's going on in her mind during that day.
Well, she did stay in Texas. You're right.
Going to
You're
bed,
right.
go shopping.
Yeah.
Just the normal day.
Right. Waiting for the
Just
phone
waiting
call.
for the call, and then you have
Check.
to add, like, what happened?
It's
Act
terrible.
like you're surprised.
Do you think she went in front of the mirror and practiced a bunch of
Oh,
times?
she
She's
had
like,
to.
oh my God, what? Wait, that's not natural enough.
Looks too fake. Looks
You
too
think,
fake.
see, now
Did you ever
can
see
film-
Fargo? William Macy has his wife kidnapped so he can get money from his rich father. And they do it, and then he's in the kitchen going, "Oh, something terrible's happening. Something's terrible." And then you go through, and he's on the phone practicing.
Yeah.
And
It's like you with comedy. Don't you film yourself in your living room, standing there in front of a microphone, talking to
sometimes on
that
my
wasn't
phone.
you who went to the Ridge Hudson McDonald's with a speaker and a microphone outside screaming, "Where's my extra hash brown?" Did you see this?
No, I did not.
Okay, so there was a McDonald's on Hudson Avenue, and in the parking lot, there's a whole Instagram page called Rock Gone Mad, and it's all the weird shit that happens on the streets of Rochester.
Wonderful.
And this is a guy standing there, and this took some work. And he didn't look like he had a lot going on, but he had this. He had a microphone plugged into a speaker, and he's outside the McDonald's screaming, "Where's my extra hash brown? I paid for my extra hash brown. Where's my extra hash brown?" And it's just echoing right outside the drive-thru. So everybody driving through, they all hear it.
What happened? What was the end result?
I don't know. That's all they show is this guy. I want to find this guy. And he looks like he looks like an overgrown leprechaun, like red, wily hair, a red beard, and he's just standing out there screaming, "Where's my extra hash brown?"
So he had a microphone and he had a speaker.
And a speaker. That's a lot of work, Doug, is my point. And where did you get the power for the speaker?
Where did you get the power? That was my next.
That was what I want to know.
The extension cord.
Yes.
Where is it?
I don't know if it's that or if you've rigged up some battery power. Maybe he's a secret.
Now, if he works that hard to do that, I wonder if he has a job and what he's doing.
Doug, I often say, why can't people use their powers for good?
Absolutely.
Why do we have to have this? All these people, all the criminals that work so hard to defraud you, the scams they come up with. All that. If you just applied that, you could have a steady paycheck.
Absolutely.
You know,
have a better life.
I would think.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what this guy's story is. When I say he didn't look like he
if
had
I see him, I'll give him your card.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Because I do want to talk
I mean,
to
that
him.
Hudson is right up from, it's got to be Hudson and Eastridge, which is close to Delta Sonic, which I gassed up today. So every now and then I'll swing in there for a McMuffin if I'm up early.
Will you?
Yeah.
I want you to see if you see this guy.
Okay.
Yeah. I want my extra hash brown. And he might have been there in the morning because I
Hey,
believe.
buddy, you want extra hash brown? I know a place in Fairport. Bill Moran, not only a hash brown, cup of coffee. You can get a cup of Joe. Just,
well, he paid for it,
Right,
and he didn't get it,
yeah.
and he's very upset.
well, that's the thing. We're up to $15, $16 minimum wage. And they're fucking up.
All right.
So think about that real quick, not to interrupt. But
Yes,
was
interrupt.
he driving through in his car?
No, I don't know.
So he actually had to pull his car
Yes.
over again.
He had to set everything up. He had to set it. Jim, there was a lot of work that went into this. But that's an interesting thing that you bring up the $15, $16 an hour, because I always find myself backed into a corner in an argument in my own head, because I understand the livable wage thing, but I also believe that some of these jobs weren't meant to provide a livable wage.
Absolutely not.
I think that there were jobs that, like a dishwasher, was usually got kids to do it, right? Or like a college or somebody who was working part-time and doing something else. This wasn't their main focus, but this was a way to supplement whatever else they were doing.
It was a stepping stone. Okay, I'm making money and I want to do better for myself. Now I'm going to get a better job.
It could be. It could be that, but I'm
going up.
But a lot of times it was kids who were in school or
it's
kids
like one
who
of
were
their first jobs.
Yeah, I worked at McDonald's.
And now we're paying
Big money for some.
well,
of these jobs.
I don't know how you stay in business, because you have to pay that. That's the part that makes it hard. How
it's
do you meet
come
the
to
payroll?
It's all going to be manufactured or all electronics inside. You won't be talking to somebody. You're going to type it up on a board.
Yeah.
And they're going to process it through machines in the back and wrap it up. They're figuring it out.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, good. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
You force this, right? I mean,
and
what
then there's not going to be anybody to
invention
yell at.
is what? It's nature's necessity. We need to adapt and evolve. I can't afford to keep paying this and stay in business, but if I got a robot that did it, well, there you go. And now I'm
you
not
have
hiring
20 registers at Walmart with two cashiers, but the check yourself out has got 15.
Yes.
And that's what it's going to come down to.
Yes.
Well, if you notice too, I mean, a lot of your costs have gone up when you do go obviously out to a normal dinner, but even fast food, it seems you go through and you're like, geez, how did it be $9?
Oh,
it's crazy. And I heard or read something the other day that not every, let's take McDonald's for instance, a Big Mac doesn't cost the same at each McDonald's.
No.
I never realized that.
No.
So it's different at each different area, or
yes,
and I never knew that.
I've noticed it with you'll see it with gas, but let's say like if you go to a big box store like a BJ's for gas, it'll be significantly cheaper in Henrietta than it will be in Victor.
Even
That's
both
because
at a BJ's?
Yeah.
Really?
That's because there's more traffic in Henrietta. I asked somebody from Delta Sonic, same thing. All your prices are different, and because of they're more competitive in Henrietta than they are on West Ridge Road or Irondequoit. So they will due to competition because BJ's is right around the corner of J. Scuddy Boulevard on West Henrietta. So you're going to get 5-6 cents lower on West Henrietta. Curious about
so
that
it's
too.
for the competition within that area.
Yes.
All the
So
gas there
the
is going to be
Penfield,
cheaper.
Delta Sonic and
Yeah.
Webster Delta Sonic, those are 10 cents higher because they don't have to compete against anybody.
Right. But if you're going to drive all the way to Henrietta, you just burned your 10 cents. So what's the fucking point?
Exactly.
You know, exactly.
But when you're Ubering like me,
yes, right.
it adds up.
That's true.
So you wait till you're to a Delta Sonic. Sometimes I've asked people, I'm like, hey, we're passing Delta. Are you in a rush? You mind if I pull in and get gas? I'm like, no, that's all right. Because I get 10 cents off a gallon. And
Kind of awkward, isn't it? You sit there pumping gas. And
Now,
just-
how would
No,
you,
they're
if
on
you're
their
a
phone, they go
passenger,
in, they
wait,
get-
if you're a
I'm not doing
passenger,
that.
how would you feel if you're a passenger?
I'm saying no way, Bob.
You're saying no way? I
Well,
would
it depends if I like the guy, which
I would-
Dougie can be touchy.
You can be. I would feel like a spoiled prick, like a child.
That's in
like
there.
my mom and dad pulled in, and I'm just sitting there, and they're gonna get me a chocolate milk, and I'm gonna sit in the back. I would feel weird.
Me too.
most people say, no, that's fine. I want to get a drink. And they go in and they get something anyways.
Yeah, I usually.
The other day, a
I
girl
would
told
feel
me
weird.
no. I go, do you happen to be in a hurry? Because I'd like to stop and get. No, I got to get home. Like, okay.
Yeah.
You don't. I can tell because you're doing nothing. But okay, thank you.
See now,
See
now
about
that's
being
very judgy.
I did not
Very
say
judgy.
that.
What if she's got kids?
She doesn't.
Are your dog sitting? Maybe she had a dog that needed to get
Maybe
out.
she
Maybe the
did.
dog shits all over the
She
place.
didn't.
How was your demeanor the rest of the ride?
Huh? Oh, I turned on Willie Nelson's Greatest Hits and cranked it up to 10. How do you like that one?
All right, we'll take a moment. Jim, you own businesses. You clearly have had to deal with firing people. I'm going to play audio of a person who got fired. And I just to talk about what that's like and the demeanor and different things that go on in people's minds. This is you may have seen this. It was a female basketball coach who worked for Utah, and she went out and did the press conference. And then they asked her about next season, and she unveils what happened. We'll get to that next. But first.
Buddy, did you see the fight